InsurTech and insurance technology should enhance your processes. It should enhance your people's performance. It should make everything easier to get to the sale.
Welcome to the Insurance Refocused podcast, where we're highlighting real agent stories and how they are innovating to respond to the changes and challenges happening in the independent insurance industry. My name's Lindsay, and I can't wait to introduce you to my amazing co-host, who just so happens to be my mom, Carey Wallace. Mom, how you doing today?
I am doing fantastic today, Lindsay. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm pretty excited. At our first event we went to together, we met a pretty cool guy. He stood up on the stage and definitely captivated the audience. So I'm super excited to have him on. It's Dr. Billy Williams. Welcome to the show, Billy.
Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Carey. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I was doing some research on you, and you have quite a couple job titles under your belt. You're running and the insurance agency. Do you guys also have a network as part of your insurance agency?
No, well,
No.
I'm a part owner of 150 plus agencies. I invest in those agencies. Okay.
Got it. My confusion. Got
But
it.
I'm not a network. Like I'm not an aggregator. I'm not a cluster or anything like that. I started this back in 2005, 2006, when agents actually still wanted to be in their agencies. Okay. But they didn't necessarily have a succession plan. And so I would come in as an investor, 10%, 15%, but I would bring my expertise, bring my team, bring my value, and then we could grow the business. You know, that model doesn't work as well today, though, Lindsay. I'm just being straight up honest with everybody. I mean, I
Yeah.
had a really good 20-year run with that model, but now the people that I invested in are 60s, 70s, and they're looking to get out. So the model now that I'm partnering with is the actual acquisition of agencies through, now again, I have no interest in it, but partners that I'm working with, they are acquiring agencies. So my investment model had a really good 20-year run, but I think its shelf life is pretty much played out by now.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. And you've also written quite a few books in your career. From looking at your LinkedIn, I thought it was 4, but apparently 7. That's
Yeah, I only got 4 of them listed out there. But I feel like the one that we're discussing today is the most important. I mean, I wrote How to Build a $10 million Insurance Agency, and that's a really nice 150, 60 page book that really breaks it all down, and that's fine. That was before COVID. And so I have to do an update to that at some point with, yeah, just to update it. And I wrote How to Make an Insurance Business Plan, a real simple yes no kind of deal. That was really important. I wrote Ice Cream, Don't Let Your Ice Cream Get Messy, which is for business owners. It's called Don't Let Your Ice Cream Get Messy: Lessons Business Owners Learn the Hard Way.
I
Okay.
like that one.
Okay. And so you can go to icecreamlessons.com. It's free. I give it away for free. Go to icecreamlessons.com, and it's just me talking about the ice cream as an acronym: income and money, covering your weakness, ego, emotion, and expectation, communication, relationships, education, asking questions, and mentorship. Those are the 8 areas that I feel like most people make the biggest mistakes in when it comes to running a good, successful business. So, and I wrote some of those because some of those are not insurance related. Like Ice Cream Lessons is not insurance related, where obviously How to Build a $10 million Insurance Agency is. And so the latest book, the Sales Objection Pocket Guide, that crosses over as well. It's not an insurance book, it's a sales book that crosses into any avenue, which is, again, our first week we sold 6,000 copies of the book. And I would imagine that probably maybe 500, 1,000 were insurance guys, and the other was non-insurance folks. That's what I think. I don't know for certain, but that's what I think.
Well, I'd love to just kind of jump right in then and start talking about sales, not necessarily specifically objection. You can go there if you want. But
Mhm.
what do you think the biggest misconception today in sales is?
Are we talking insurance sales? Or are we talking sales?
Yeah,
That's
this
two
is
different.
insurance podcast, so
Okay,
insurance
gotcha. I want to make
sales.
sure that we're very specific about that. I think the biggest problem that I see, and this is Billy, this is not Carey, this is not Lindsay, so don't try to hold them to this. This is Billy. I am so sick of technology. I am so tired of InsurTech. And the reason why I say that is InsurTech and insurance technology should enhance your processes. It should enhance your people's performance. It should make everything easier to get to the sale. I feel like most agents are using it to abdicate the sale, to avoid the conversation, to bypass the person, to ignore the value statement. And all it's doing is making us cashiers and fulfillment people. That's why when you ask an agent who only sells on price and all of a sudden they don't have the cheapest price in their rater, well, you know what they're going to do? I'm going to set up more emails. I'm going to blast them harder. Instead of sending them 5 emails, I'm going to send them 12 emails. But you're not fixing the problem. You're not overcoming the objection. You're not painting the value. Value has a very specific formula for me. Everything for me is numbers. I think when we met and we were New Orleans, yeah, yeah. And I stood up and I said, look, if I can't put it in numbers, it's too damn complicated. If I can't address it with a number. So to me, value has 4 specific components to it. There's features, benefits, consequences, and price. That equals value to me. So let's look at insurance policy. Let's take something simple, auto. Features of auto. So the features may be I have uninsured motorists, I have medical, I have rental and towing, I have comp and collision. Those are features that we have. The benefits are how it's going to make my life better. So because I have uninsured motorists and underinsured motorists, if I get hit by uninsured motorists, I'm taken care of. There's going to be money there for legal, for medical, for lost wages, for rehab, for all that kind of stuff. The consequences is where an agent makes their money. We make our money in showing you what life looks like if you make a bad decision. So you refuse uninsured and underinsured motorists. Well, all those benefits now become consequences. So without the proper amount or without uninsured, underinsured motorists, you're going to have to cover your own rehab if you're hit by an underinsured motorist, underinsured, or someone who's hit and run, right? Because that's uninsured, underinsured. So you're going to have to cover your own rehab. Maybe you went real cheap and you only got $50,100 for your uninsured motors, but there's $200, $250, $300,000 worth of medical. Well, where's that coming from? Health insurance? Maybe, maybe not. But these are all things that could be taken care of. And then we're talking about money. Well, okay, if I have a let's say $1,000 collision deductible or $1,000 comprehensive deductible. In most states, uninsured and underinsured motors is only $250 deductible.
Ooh, baby. Big problem.
Only $250 deductible. So that means while I'm worried about money, I'm not thinking, wow, if I get in an accident, I got to pay $1,000 instead of, if I had this coverage, I'd only have to pay $250. So it's the same thing. Health insurance, maybe it was uninsured and underinsured, and part of that medical is going to kick in and all that. But my health insurance decides, you know what? We're not going to cover that MRI. We think you can get away with an X-ray. Well, auto insurance, we're not health insurance people. We don't care. If it's a covered claim, we're going to spend the amount of money until we hit our limit. So maybe the MRI was $4,000. And maybe the X-ray was $300. So the insurance company says, we're just going to give you $300 and be done with it. But your doctor says, no, you need an MRI. Well, guess what? I can take that money that's left from the auto insurance accident because it's covered and apply it to whatever we need to apply it to. But we're not having those conversations anymore. We're saying, here's the cheapest price. Here's what the price is with uninsured motors. Here's what the price is without uninsured motors. Which one do you want?
Or worse, we're not saying anything. Like
Exactly.
that's or worse, right? So here's the thing. I've been in the industry not as long as you. Definitely not as long as you have. I've been here for about 16 years. And one of the smartest, most brilliant agents that I learned a lot from was sitting across the table from me. We were at dinner and he said, "You know what, Carey? The agents that win are the ones that can marry relationships, data, and technology." They didn't say technology replaces the relationship. They said it's the one that can use those three to position themselves to be able to provide the advice to their customers and spend their time where they need to be explaining pretty complicated things. I got to tell you, you're talking to two people that have great insurance agents, but we are not insurance agents. It's complicated. Insurance is complicated, and you want to make the best decision. You need someone to explain it to you, to connect with you, someone you trust. If you're not connecting and you're allowing technology to do that for you and it's replacing that, it's going to be really difficult to be able to give the advice that you need. So it's a three-pronged stool. And I think what you're saying is we've gotten away from the relationship part and allowed, or we focused on allowing technology to take a center stage role. I think that's what I hear you saying. Is that right?
Absolutely. So let me give you a real world example. So I was working with this agent. By the time an agent calls me, they're either trying to grow or they're trying not to die. Okay. That's when they end up calling me. So this agent calls me and he's trying not to die. Okay. It's a captive. I won't say which one, but it was a captive that fired all their other captives. Okay. And you guys can figure out what
Oh yeah.
who that
Well,
was.
I'm tracking with you.
Gotcha.
Sure.
Yeah. They fired all their agents, right? And so he calls me, oh my God, I have to go independent now and I wasn't prepared for this. What will I do? Well, he sucked as a captive. So I knew it was going to be really difficult to get him to do anything as an independent because he sucked as a captive. But I was like, we can figure some stuff out. So I gave him something very simple to do. Here are 10 scripts, 10 email templates, 10 text message templates, and 5 social media templates. I need you to make sure that these are inside of your AMS system, right? So that we can quickly copy and paste. Showed him how to do it. I set up the first 2 myself. Lord knows I'm not that guy to do the hands-on stuff. I hire people to do that. But for this guy, I was like, okay, I'll set up your first 2 templates. I did the merge fields and did everything. You got it? Got it. You sure? Got it. Okay. I'll get back to you next Tuesday. This is Thursday. I'll get back to you next Tuesday. Everything should be set up. We should be good to go. And then we can start prospecting. We can start getting, some X dates and some other stuff, and we can really start prospecting because we know what we're going to say. That's how technology should work, right? So here we come. Tuesday. Hey, did you get all your stuff loaded? Not yet. Well, why not? Well, I'm trying to figure out the best way to get this to talk to this so that this will talk to this and this will flow into this. What the hell does that have to do with anything? I just needed you to put some templates in your AMS system so we could start prospecting. Yeah. But, I like to have Slack set up with this, and then this flows to this, and then my VA gets this, and this happens. So I'm like, look, we're going to do something magical here. I want you to pull up your prospect list. Okay, got it. I'm on my side. I'm dialing my Ring Central. Hey, this is Billy Williams. I'm with blank, blank, blank insurance. I'm calling because you're coming up for renewal. Love to be able to sit down and talk with you. I know 80% of the people say I don't have time. I get that. If now is not the right time, then let's sit and let's schedule a time so we can talk because it's too important that you don't. It's too important for you not to get a second opinion. Okay, yeah, we can set up something for Thursday. Hang up. Let's call somebody else. They don't answer. I'll call somebody else. Okay, they do answer. Hey, I'm not interested. Call somebody else. So I made like 6, 7 phone calls, set up 2 appointments. Took about 10 minutes. I said, so I have 2 prospects for your agency. Took me 10 minutes. It took you a week almost, and you still have not set up one template. You have not talked to one person. You have not made one outreach because you're so busy trying to get your technology set up. Now you actually have prospects to put in your technology.
Yeah, imagine that. If you're like me and many other small businesses across the country where hiring, training, and retaining employees is a challenge, Agency VA has a solution for you. Agency VA has over 1,000 VAs hired, managed, and trained in the Philippines, Latin America, and India. But did you also know they have 100 licensed agents here in the US that can help you manage your book? I use a VA who lives in the Philippines, and I absolutely love her. The process was simple. We had a consultation where they asked me my needs, goals, and concerns, and matched me with Allie, who has been an absolute game changer for me. Employing Allie through Agency VA has allowed me to focus on my business without worrying about HR concerns, turnover, and monitoring payroll. The best part is the Agency VA team was eager to help my company and also make sure that Allie is getting employee benefits, a competitive salary to help her live a better life in the Philippines. If this is something that you are struggling with inside your agency, please visit agencyva.com/insurance refocused and set up a time to talk to them about your hiring needs. Hey guys, if you're looking to improve your bottom line, allow your team to operate efficiently, and really improve that customer retention, I believe you should check out Ascend. Ascend is the all-in-one insurance payment solution. They are focused on streamlining your invoicing, premium financing, accounting, and they'll even make your carrier payables for you. They are taking agency bill and making it as easy as direct bill. That is a game changer. They integrate with all of the major AMS players, and here's the best part. It's free. There is no subscription, no cost to you. They allow your customers to pay how they want. If you are interested in improving your efficiency, go visit ascend.com/insurance refocused and let them know that we sent you.
And I think the value of technology comes from when you actually have people putting in the technology. And we've had multiple people come on the podcast talking about they hired someone else to set it up for them. You know, like they hired Lava or they hired whoever, I don't know, to
Fiverr
like,
or whoever.
yeah, whoever, to set it up for them so that all they had to do, they know it works. They know who to go to if it breaks, and all they have to worry about is selling. Like, I feel like that's where the real value of investing in that InsurTech comes from.
I think it's for me, it's a process. Remember, everything for me is a number. I explain everything in numbers. There are 4 types of staff that sit in your agency 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You have processes, technology, automation, and people. Okay, those are 4 types of staff. Those 4 staff have to communicate. Those 4 staff have to support each other. Those 4 staff have to know what the right hand is doing and what the left hand is doing. But the problem is when you have staff, if it were 4 people and they had one process and all 4 of them touched that process and they didn't communicate, we would say it was a failure. We'd bring Judy in and we'd sit her down and we'd counsel her. We'd get the team together and say, hey, you guys have got to learn to talk and y'all have got to be nicer. You ain't got to go to dinner together, but you got to work together. I mean, we'd give them the whole big speech. But when we don't use our technology and our people and our processes, when they don't talk, we don't do anything. We just sit back. So, no, you got to have everybody. If you're going to have technology, it should be a part of your process. Technology should not create your process.
That's right.
Technology should be a part of your process. And so you should know where it fits in your process.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about this book. So if I'm an agency owner and I've recognized that maybe maybe I've hired people that have some aversion to picking up the phone, or that it's not happening as often as I'd like to. Give me an idea how they can use this pocket guide as a tool inside the agency every single day.
Absolutely. So first, let me give you a history of why I wrote the Pocket Guide. I think that's kind
Yeah,
of answers the
perfect.
story. So last year, my daughter came to me and said, "Dad, I want us to create a legacy, like a real big family legacy." And I was like, "Okay, then we'll open another insurance agency." I'm like, I've shown 1,000 people how to do this. We'll just open our own agency. So we opened our Williams Family Insurance and Investment, and I hired these appointment setters, and I hired, all the folks that I knew to hire. And I realized that my people who I hired, the family members, the friends that we brought on, they had no clue how to overcome an objection, right? They only knew how to send an email or send a text or send a DM. And if whatever the person said, that's what they did. So I started writing out scripts and templates. And look, if they say this, use this formula to overcome this. And if they say this, use this piece to overcome this. And by the time it looked around, Lindsay, I had 400 pages of things I had written out. 400. I had just notebooks and notebooks. And I always keep big notebooks beside me. I have notebooks and notebooks of objections and what people were coming back. And I was listening to calls and listening to, the recorded calls and listening to sales calls and saying, okay, here's what you say in this situation. Here's what you say in that situation. For me, it was second nature because everything for me has a formula. There's a formula to it. So once I realized that most people didn't think in a formula, they don't think facts, goals, obstacles, solutions. They don't think size, activity, location, uniform, time, equipment. I mean, they don't think like I think. So I wrote out the book to do that. And then what I realized was once I started writing the book and start going to conferences and speaking and telling people that I was writing the book, they were like, man, as soon as that book comes out, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Because I got Dave over here and Susie over here and Judy over here and Michael over here, and they don't know what to say. And so that's why I wrote the book. Now, how do you use the book? Very simple. Let's say you were getting ready to meet with someone and you knew that their objection was, I don't have time to talk right now. So you look at our book in here, and it's got a little section, you can't see it, but it says the objection is, I don't have time to talk right now. So I wrote it out, a simple response and an advanced response. So let's say it's on page 16. So I go to page 16 in the book, and it says, I don't have time to talk right now. Then you'd have certain responses. So the first response is, I understand, and I want to be respectful of your time. It'll take me 90 seconds to show you how my product or service can improve your situation. Can I have 90 seconds of your time? Okay. Now you can write that out. You can say that. You can quote that. You can text that. You can do whatever you want to do. Another one says, well, I don't have time to talk. It says, we can split our conversation into 5 or 10 minute blocks of time, because I realize that time is very pressing for you. So give me 5 minutes. Let me tell you what I think you need. Let me give you the consequences of you not having the right thing. And then we can schedule something for that next 5 or 10 minutes. And you tell me what your response was. So, and it just goes through, I think there's like, I don't know, 20, 30, however many. And so it just goes through, and what it does is it equips you with responses that are not overwhelming and that you can write out, text out, email out, say, whatever. And it just gives you a tool bag of responses that you now know, okay, I have something to say. When I quizzed a lot of people before I wrote the book and said, hey, what's the real issue? Why don't you pick up the phone? I don't know what to say. Number one thing I hear, I don't know what to say. I'm not sure what to say in that situation.
And here, I'll tell you this, Billy, and this is something that I've been saying for a while. This industry has a lot of people at, beyond, or approaching retirement age. That's owners, that's producers, that's CSRs. I mean, the average age is 55 or 56 of an owner. The producer age is even higher. So there's so much knowledge leaving the industry. We have new people coming in that are starting agencies, but they live in a different world. I mean, we said this before we started recording, but I didn't have a phone that I actually texted with until I was probably in my mid 20s. So it's not like talking to people is way more comfortable for me than it will be for Lindsay's daughter. Like for the generation after Lindsay, they will know nothing but electronic communication. In fact, even Lindsay's generation, it's been part of what they can remember from day one. So it's super interesting to me with the knowledge leaving, the new generation coming in. You have to bridge the gap because of and here's the other thing that's happening. Insurance is getting more and more complex as technology moves forward, as all kinds of things are happening. It's not getting easier, it's getting more complex. So we have a need to understand far greater than we had when life was simple in the 20s. Like, honestly, if we're thinking about it, right? So I think it's incredible to arm people with, this is how you build a relationship. These are the ways you interact. These are the things that you can say. These are the things that you can use as a guide, because I don't know that that's occurring. I don't know that that training is occurring, right?
You, you know what people have gotten away from? Something so simple that we grew up under. Doesn't matter what industry you start out with, an elevator pitch. Can you explain what you do in 30 seconds? And if you ask the average person, they're going to give you, I sell insurance. Well, that offers no value to me. That just tells me what you do. Doesn't tell me why you do it. Doesn't say how you're going to make my life better, anything. I sell insurance. So you ask them to create an elevator pitch. No clue. No clue how to create an elevator pitch. So in the book, the first chapter is nothing but me explaining the formula for doing certain things. And so one of the first things that I talk about is an elevator pitch. How do you create an elevator pitch, right? Uh, so I won't give away all the stuff because I do want people to buy the book too.
I do too. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, but I do want to, I feel like this elevator pitch part is so important that I want to make sure that we at least talk about that. So let's look at the elevator pitch. That's on page 6 of the book. 5 and 6. See, she has her Kindle. She would have just hit on 6.
Absolutely. She'd be there before us for sure.
Your book is on Kindle Unlimited, so I can download it for free.
For free? Well, you're paying for it monthly, so it's not really for free, right?
Well, girl math, it's
You
free.
can download it at no cost, no additional cost.
Yes,
That's right.
exactly.
That's right.
There we go. So what is an elevator pitch? An elevator pitch has 4 components: features, benefits, consequences, and permission to keep talking. So features is how the product, how it works. Benefits is how it's going to make your life better. Consequences is what happens when you need it and it's not there. And then permission to keep talking is, are you listening to me? Do you want to continue listening to me? So I'll give you an example. I actually wrote one out. Insurance provides 3 buckets of money when you file a claim: money for you and your family, money that's paid to others, and money that's paid to others on behalf, and then money to repair, replace what you choose to insure. So without the right insurance, the consequence is you could end up spending thousands of dollars out of pocket, or just end up not being covered and have to suffer through not being able to repair or replace something. You know what? I could go on and on forever. I don't want to. Do you want me to continue talking about this?
So smart. So smart. It's way better than I sell insurance. Way better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's look at the features. Let's break it down. Features. What is it that I do? Insurance provides 3 buckets of money: money for you and your family, money for others you'll end up owing, and money to repair or replace what you choose to insure. That's the feature. What's the benefit? The benefit is those things are going to be there for you when you need them. What's the consequence? Without it, you could end up spending a lot of money out of pocket that you might not have, or worse yet, you can end up not being able to repair or replace and have to suffer through something because it couldn't get repaired, replaced, or replenished. But again, that's 3. Now, number 4, permission to keep talking. I could talk about this forever. This is what I do all day. I study this. I live this. I breathe this. I don't want to, bore you to death. Do you want to hear more about this, or would you rather I just shut it down right now?
I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
So
Yeah.
I'm using those 4 components. And I can write that, I can email that, I can DM that, I can say that, I can do whatever. So when I start a speech, there's this other part when we're talking about setting value and establishing everything. One of the things I talk about is what I call a CPA, a common prospect action. Okay, common prospect action. A common prospect action is 70% of the people who are listening to this podcast are only going to listen for about 5 or 10 minutes. They're going to get distracted, and then they'll say, I'll get back to it. And then they don't come back to it. 20 or 30% that's left is going to say, I want to listen to this all the way through. I'm going to shut my door. I'm going to turn off the notifications on my phone, and I'm going to listen to this because this is too valuable, and I don't want to miss this. Well, that's a common prospect action. What we find is when you tell a person how they're going to act, they no longer act that way. It's almost like you've heard the saying, an animal in the wild that knows it's being watched doesn't act wild.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yep. So when I start a speech, I'll say, look, 50% of you in the room are going to pay a little bit of attention to what I have to say. 30% of you are going to be on your phone. You're going to be on your Kindle. You're going to, have to write an email. You'll hear bits and pieces of what I have to say. 20% of you that's left will actually pay attention. So I'm going to talk to the 20%. You ready, 20%? Raise your hands if you're part of that 20%. Whole room raises their hand, right? Okay, let's get to talking. So what did I just do? I just knocked out the 80% that would not have listened because I mentioned a common prospect action. So it's the same thing when we're talking templates and we're doing cold templates. And I say, before you delete this email, 60% of you will not read past this first line because you think this is a waste of your time. And the problem is you're going to miss out on something that could save you thousands of dollars or could make your quality of life so much better. So let me get to you know what I'm saying? It's like, because I called you out, you no longer take that action. And this is stuff that I put in the book because we give cold email templates and, DM templates and things like that says, look, this is the formula to get people to pay attention to you, not just you telling them what you want them to hear, but them actually having an interest in what you're saying. So,
well, Billy, yeah, no kidding. I got to tell you, Billy, I don't think I've met another person that is more passionate about helping agents grow their business than you. There's no two ways around that. Like the energy that's coming through the screen is unmistakable. Like it truly is.
But Carey, I have to, I have to be honest. I'm a very honest person in this regard. For me, this is not about necessarily the love of helping agents. This is about the love of my industry.
Yeah.
This is what feeds my family. Yeah. This is what, pays our bills, puts my kids through college. This is what does it. So if this industry gets weak, then everything that I built my foundation on gets weaker.
I agree.
So for me, growing the industry is what's most important, and agents drive the industry.
No doubt.
Does that make sense?
Doubt. So here's the most important part. If an agent wants to engage with you, engage in your consulting, buy your book, talk to you, understand more, if they want to implement the things that you're trying so desperately to put in their hands, how do they reach out and find you?
Well, the best way to do it, I'm going to give you some free things because I know I don't want everybody just to spend money every time they get ready to talk to me. So if they go to my site, which is inspireanation.org, www.inspireanation.org, not Inspire Nation. I tried to buy that and the guys wouldn't sell it to me. Okay. It's inspireanation.org. There they can look at my 15-minute lunch and learns. Every week or two, we put out a topic. We only spend 15 minutes on that topic. And we talk about things like renewal process or how to staff, how to, how to get on LinkedIn, how to do whatever. That's the best way, is really engage with us. And that'll drive you to YouTube or drive you some of the other places. If you want mentoring, let me explain who I mentor and who I don't mentor. I mentor agencies that want to grow, agencies that are at a point where they're like, you know what, maybe I'm 10 million and I want to be 20. Maybe I'm 5 and I want to be 10. You have to be willing to listen. If you're not willing to listen, if you're not willing to actually take mentoring, then we're not the company for you. There are plenty of consultants that are out there, plenty of people that'll help you. It's kind of like you, Carey. I tell people all the time, if you're serious about understanding the value of your agency, if you're serious about someone breaking down the different components of your agency and understanding what your agency would sell for, what it needs to sell for, call Carey. Call her. If you just want someone to talk to, call somebody else. Okay, don't waste Carey's time, and I've sent plenty of people to you. And I'm like, look, when you get ready to value your agency, when you get ready to really sit down and know what the hell is going on with your agency from a value standpoint, you need to call Carey. When you are ready to implement processes that are going to take your agency into the next stratosphere, when you want to be able to maintain your people, when you want to be able to maintain your processes, even when your people are leaving, call me. Call me. We've been doing this for 20 plus years. We are the guys that everybody else calls. The gurus, all the people that you see standing on stage, 9 times out of 10, those are my guys, my gals. So, I'm the OG behind I'm the OG.
There it is. I love it.
Yeah, I'm the OG and I'm okay with that. But if you just want somebody to hang out with, someone to talk to, someone to, kick it, and you guys go share a drink, because I don't drink. You guys go share a drink and talk about this and talk about the problems and call somebody else. There's plenty of consultants out there. But when you're serious, call me. That's Inspire Nation is the best way. The book, just look up Sales Objection Pocket Guide. Billy Williams, Sales Objection Pocket Guide. It's all, she looked it up. You found it. How long did it take you, Lindsay? 5 seconds? Yep. Sales Objection Pocket Guide, Billy Williams. Just look it up. If you're Kindle, what'd you say? If you're Amazon Prime or if you're
Kindle Unlimited, it's an extra $10 a month.
Right. And so
but then you get it for free, but it's only $12. So
there you go.
There you go. I love it. Well, Billy, it has been a pleasure. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your passion with us. It is infectious. I got to tell you, I feel like I need to go sell something. And I'm joking. I'm totally joking.
Well, we're salespeople.
I know.
If insurance guy is not selling something, or insurance gal is not selling something, that means we're not protecting somebody.
Absolutely.
There's somebody out there that's not protected because we're too afraid to do our job.
I agree. I totally agree. I love the legacy that you've built with your family, and I am super excited to see you have so much success. So I hope it continues. We will absolutely add all of this information to the show notes, and I really appreciate you coming on and sharing with us.
Thank you for allowing me to have just a platform to be able to talk to people. I really appreciate it, Kate. Thank you so much.
You got it.
Thanks so much for tuning in to the Insurance Refocused podcast. If you enjoyed the episode, please be sure to hit subscribe and leave us a review so you'll never miss us. Want to learn more about how Agency Focus can help you grow your agency? Head to agency-focus.com or email Carey directly at carey@agency-focus.com. If you need to get in touch with me, feel free to shoot me an email at lindsay@agency-focus.com. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.